Washington nursing a 3-point lead late in the fourth. Back to Jim and Phil.
Now, how did you like that celebration?
That was that was a head of hair doing its thing.
That's 2 touchdowns on the game for Reggie Williams. First down, 17. Moreeeee to the 5, and he is giving it his all for a 3rd touchdown.
Yeah, you know what's happening too, Jim? You got a team, a defense, they're dejected. You got an offense that's fired up. Offensive linemen love nothing better than situations like this where they can just fire off the football, hammer the defensive guy, and watch their running back go forward. Chuck Bresnahan, he knows it. Tough situation for him. And there is work to be done with this run defense.
All this talk leading into this game about the changing of the guard in this matchup.
Rushing yards for the Patriots. Tremendous.
Heath Evans is the inside carry. I mentioned it a moment ago. The fullback out of Auburn was really just the blocking back for Rudy Johnson in college.
You go to Auburn as a running back, when you get done, you go to the NFL. That's about what it is.
Remember the game he filled in last year down in Miami?
That's right. Oh my gosh, he was terrific down there. And of course that was a vengeance game for him because the Miami Dolphins had cut him. So he was mad, upset, and he played tremendous.
Signed 1 week, and a few days later he's rushing for 80 yards in a win. Brady, toss, open man, Graham, touchdown New England.
Well, this is one when the play comes in, Tom Brady goes, yes, this can complete my day. Nothing like a sure touchdown. You're running at will. You call a play action pass on the goal line. As a quarterback, you know there is going to be somebody wide open, and it's Daniel Graham.
They have absolutely blown this thing wide open. 24 points by New England in the last 11.5 minutes. One more by Gostowski. The Bengals were undefeated coming in. It was supposed to be one of these games where they say it's the changing of the guard, but the old guard is running away with it.
The lovely and talented Sid Cicero. Stop it. I'm the ball, dude.
Catch all your sports news highlights and analysis daily on Score Tonight.
Woo! What's he doing? I don't know. Check this out, 720. For real, count it. Watch the move. Oh, you're my boy, Blue.
Score Tonight, up to 3 times daily, only on NASN.
Ever wished you could be there to see your team in action? With Game On Holidays, you can combine that big match atmosphere with the holiday of a lifetime for the whole family. We offer city breaks and holidays incorporating all U.S. sports, including NASCAR. All you have to do is visit our website and choose the games or races you want to see, and we'll do the rest. Great seats, great games, great value. Game on.
LaDainian Tomlinson, the special one, the gifted one.
Absolutely one of the great talents. Some kind of run up by the kid. That's insane. He is driving them crazy. Kicking through tackles. How do you stop a bowling ball? LT, truly an S on his chest tonight. You are a Superman.
Look at this stat, Phil. Most rushing yards by the Patriots since '93. That means the best ever performance on the ground by a Belichick team at New England today. And the Cincinnati defense that last year, over the last 9 games, gave up over 30 points a game. People were saying, well, this team, you know, this is a Super Bowl contender. But you see now, there are definitely still holes here that have to be addressed.
And not that I know a lot, but what did we say right from the start? The defense, it's always about stopping the running game. And it's been camouflaged a little the first few games of the year because their offense has played well, kept them in front, so teams have not taken advantage of it.
Get it out of the backfield to Rudy Johnson.
And I got to talk about this too, Jim. And look, I know I'm part of it, but the media's reaction to how the Patriots lost last week and the fact that they did not destroy the Buffalo Bills the opening week of the year. Now we see the Bills have played pretty well all 4 of their games. You know, the Denver Broncos were in the AFC Championship game last year too. So
number one seed in the whole conference.
The Patriots a little bit in transition.
Well, actually, they're number 2 seed. Indianapolis was the 1 seed.
That's right. But the Patriots, you always talk about the loss of players. When you win, players get success personally, then they do it with the team, and you know what they want next, don't you, Jim? Money. Okay, we've done some good. Now you want to be paid because your life is short in the NFL. So guys are going to leave. And I think they've done a tremendous job of covering that up and rebuilding through the draft.
Second time, he escaped the first hit. Seymour was in on him first. And then Jarvis Green, who's had quite an active afternoon.
Jarvis Green gets the leftover here. Richard Seymour, though, causes the sack. He is a big lineman who can stop the run like the biggest guys in the league, but also nimble enough to be a really good pass rusher from the inside defensive line position.
Carson has been sacked now 3 of his last 5 dropbacks and fumbled twice. Ball flipped it in the air and almost picked off by Rodney Harrison with a flag on the field. Vrabel tipped it. Harrison almost able to catch up with it.
Pass interference. Defense number 50. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
So it's going against Vrabel, and that'll move the chains for Cincinnati. And for those expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between New England and Cincinnati. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms and the crew on hand here at Paul Brown Stadium. And the Patriots having a 24-0 stretch here over the last 13 minutes to break this one open. I want to assure you that 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. So first down from the 33. It's Green again. Jarvis Green, it just absolutely breaking through the line. That's his 3rd sack of the game, plus a fumble recovery.
You know, Jim, it's just they're just getting overpowered inside. Obvious passing situations. The Patriots, the one thing you can say about them, they are big and they're powerful inside. And Bill Belichick said, I need a tremendous game from my front 7, especially the defensive linemen, and they have done that.
Homer able to throw a deep one down the field, but double coverage on Chad Johnson. Yet another flag.
Still, you know, you remember last night we talked to Tom Brady and how he was feeling. You said it a couple times today, but it's worth repeating.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, offense number 71. Holding, defense number 34. Penalties offset, replay, second down.
Well, what did he say to you? He goes, after he watched, as he came off the field or after the game was over against the Denver Broncos where they lost, they were down 17-0 at one time.
He says, I was more confident coming out of that game about the future of this team than I was going into the game. Yeah. A game in which they trailed 17-0 at one time in the 4th quarter.
And, you know, I know. So that, what is that? Just when you're on the field, you know. And I used to say that to people when I played, they go, what, are you kidding? We didn't see that today, but
you know.
You know.
Pass Watson. And he rumbles out to the 38.
And guys that we work with, Pete Radovich got on his computer last night in our meeting, and I don't know, I forgot, he says, Tom Brady body language. He put it on the computer, and 40 articles came up. Everybody in the country wrote about, he's displeased. It's the way he acted during the game, and well, they lost.
He's frustrated. He's down on this team. He's unhappy.
The team's not putting the great stars around him like they said they would. And
squirts out. Pressure again. This time applied by Bantakane.
Yeah, just obvious passage situations. Very tough for the Bengals. But, you know, Jim, and look, we're guilty of it too. We do games. Somebody will get blown out. We'll get in the car and go to the airport and say, yeah, they're terrible. They're done for the year. They'll never win again. And, you know, they go into the playoffs or whatever. So it's just our culture now.
Short memories.
Yeah, we just jump to conclusions very fast. We make assumptions, and that's, well, this team's going to stink for the whole year. And the NFL, it's equivalent to about 5 seasons of any other sport. Ups and downs constantly.
Palmer sacked 4 times in this quarter alone. That's Paul. Getting away. Another flag on the return. Hey, the way they were pouncing on Palmer, you might want to think about calling it a day for the quarterback. He's taken enough hits here in one afternoon. This game is out of hand. If they get the ball back.
It's a good point.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 31. After this is a goal. New England keeps the ball. First down.
So 5 minutes to play with New England making quite a large statement here in Cincinnati.
Call and text your T-Mobile mates more, so you won't miss a thing. One great rate on pay-as-you-go. Mates rates from T-Mobile.
From Detroit, Michigan, the Seahawks are set to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl 40.
3rd and goal at the 1. A bootleg left, and Ben dives for the goal line. It's a touchdown, Pittsburgh! And they hand it to Willie Parker. Finds a lane. He's on his way. Look out. Foot race 45-50. Willie Parker 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. 75 yards.
Play fake. Matt looks. A lot of time. Throws to the right side. Got a man wide open. Touchdown. Jeremy Stevens. Steelers lead 14-10. The quick pitch, and here comes a reverse. Randall L has got a reverse. He wants to throw. He does down the far right side. He's got a man wide open.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh! And that's your ball game.
We are back in Cincinnati, where another team coming into the weekend undefeated is going to lose today. We've had, this will be the 3rd one, with one more on the way tonight when Seattle and Chicago meet. It's Evans for a gain of 2. Start to cross off a few off the list. San Diego lost earlier today, so did New Orleans. And, well, there you go. You're taking care of the Bengals. We'll be down to 3 at the end of the night with that Chicago-Seattle game looming.
You know, it's just 3 undefeated teams after 4 weeks. Do you need to say anything else about this NFL? That it's the players, it's the coaching. I think that's one of the big things we always overlook. It's just hard to out-coach the opposing team.
Brady brings it over to the left side to Chad Jackson. The rookie he's really been unable to develop any kind of rhythm with, because he only really practiced 3 times during training camp. Talking about Jackson, hamstring issues all along. Came back week 2 and was active for the first time against the Jets, scored a touchdown.
They'll do the same thing with him that they've done with everybody else. They're going to find his role. And I thought maybe go deep, because he does have good speed. You can see he's got good size, run reverses, and they'll slowly break him in the offense, and he'll find his way as time goes on.
Inactive week 1, active for the touchdown catch. Inactive last week, back here today. And that's Evans picking up the first down. You know, Gabriel was traded from the Raiders to the Patriots with about a week to go before the regular season. He took a red-eye flight to Boston, landed about 8, and he went straight to the Patriots headquarters and into a workout. And he told Brady, met him that first day and said, you know, he was thrilled about the chance to play here. Asante Samuel was a teammate of Gabriel's at Central Florida, so he had a friend on the team. And he said, I want to come in right away and start working to be a part of this winning formula. That got Brady's attention pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a fact. Tom Brady looked at him, he goes, boy, he's big. Hey, he's pretty fast. He can really catch it. Yeah.
Tom looked at him out on the practice field this week and said, just with having Gabriel back off the hamstring, seeing him out there practicing every day, he said it made us look like a whole team again. We were whole.
And also, you remember what he said too? Hey, he came in last night and he just goes, I haven't thrown some inside routes, you know, like curl routes in years. And he goes, well, we can do it now with Rashae Caldwell and Gabriel on the outside because they have the size. They don't have to be open all the time. Throw it to them, let them use their body.
Over to Jackson, and picks up 2 yards, heading to the 2-minute warning. Brady's now going to win for the 10th straight time playing on an artificial surface. It's going to be 17-1 in his career.
So what are you telling me? He doesn't like grass? Is that what you're saying?
No, let's put some artificial surface up there at Foxborough. Right. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just another superlative.
ASN, the North American Sports Network, a new and exciting sports channel dedicated to the best in live North American sports 24/7. NASN is the best of live NFL, including the Super Bowl live, up to 175 regular season NHL games and the Stanley Cup Finals, comprehensive coverage of the MLB regular and postseason, and exclusive college football and basketball. With the best daily news, highlights, and analysis, NASN is your channel for the best in live North American sports. Visit NASN.com for scheduling, news, and information.
Ever wished you could be there to see your team in action? With Game On Holidays, you can combine that big match atmosphere with the holiday of a lifetime for the whole family. We offer city breaks and holidays incorporating all US sports, including NASCAR. All you have to do is visit our website and choose the games or races you want to see, and we'll do the rest. Great seats, great games, great value. Game on.
For Neion Tomlinson, the special one, the gifted one.
Absolutely one of the great talents. Some kind of run-up by the kid. That's insane. He is driving them crazy. Kicking through tackles. How do you stop a bowling ball? LT, truly an S on his chest tonight. You are a Superman.
It's a disturbing national trend. Teenagers caught on videotape beating up homeless people. Followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and Without a Trace. Tonight on CBS, again this season, America's Most Watched Network. Third down and 5, and Evans now getting the carries, and he is stopped a couple yards short. The executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus, Tony Petitti. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS and producer of today's game is Lance Barrow. This game directed by Mike Arnold. Senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today is Eric Mann. And the director of the studio operation, Bob Mattina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant. Associate directors of today's game, Steve Karasik, Pete Radovich Jr. broadcast associates Andy Friedman and Steve Brookfield. Technical manager Pete Callander, technical director Jonas Einstein, and the audio supervisor Ed Soltis. Our stats provided by Ethan Cooperson, Mike Friedman, our spotter, Tommy Spencer. And in fact, they are not going to be returning Palmer to the field to play. It'll be Anthony Wright with final minute and 10. You know, the Patriots, Phil, were last in the league in takeaways here early in the season, had only one through the first 3 games. They've gotten a couple of fumble recoveries in this quarter alone that really iced it.
Well, so many reasons for takeaways. You know, usually, Jim, you got the other team in a tough situation like they have the Cincinnati Bengals. And when you have big-time pass rushers, that causes interceptions, fumbles, turnovers, just what you were talking about.
Well, they were 31st last year, too. They struggled in that category last year. Had only 18 takeaways on the season. Another flag. It looks like Anthony Wright has every intention.
Defense number 95, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Patriots had 3 drives starting in Cincinnati territory. The big Falk punt return, that led to a touchdown. The 2 fumble recoveries, both leading to touchdowns.
Look at those sack numbers. Week 1, 4, 6, and 4. And, you know, I kept touting, and I said it early in the game. This offensive line, they can pass protect.
Don't do that.
His offensive line last year looked after Palmer to the degree of Palmer being the least sacked quarterback in the league last year, the hardest quarterback to get to. Quincy Wilson with the carry.
Stopped on the play by Tony Fanticani.
So the Bengals will be going into a bye week off a very ugly loss, while the Patriots next week return home. One more game before their bye week. They'll be hosting Miami, a team really struggling, losing today to the Houston Texans. Gary Kubiak, congratulations to Gary, picking up his first win as a head coach in the National Football League. That will end it. It was a 14-13 game in the second half before Belichick's boys put it away. Both teams exit the field at 3-1. For Phil Simms, Jim Nance saying so long from Cincinnati. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
All right, Jim. Cincinnati knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten to the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, Washington trying to improve the 500, holding to a 3-point lead against Jacksonville. Let's join Dick Enberg, Randy Cross.
Here at FedEx Field, a crowd of 90,000 watching a terrific game. 23 seconds to go. It's 30-27. The Redskins lead, but Jacksonville is driven down to the 27-yard line. Leftwich throws to the sidelines. Incomplete for Reggie Williams, who has made some spectacular catches and a couple of touchdown passes in this game. Carlos Rogers on the coverage.
Want to talk about Holland back and heaving a football.
Williams staggering and ball thrown behind him.
The stumble just disrupted the timing, but Jack Del Rio's quarterback, Byron Leftwich, was throwing that thing. He brought it back from about the back of his right knee to throw that pass.
One timeout, as you can see, for Jacksonville. 18 seconds remain. 3rd down and 10. Leftwich throws deep into the end zone for Hankton, out of play. So it'll come on to the foot of Josh Scobie to tie it up and send it to what would one think would be overtime here outside the nation's capital. So Scobie comes on. He had trouble last week against Indianapolis, missed from 24 and from 49, but he's connected today from 46 and 43. This one to tie. 41-yard attempt. It's up and it's good. And he knots the count at 30. Oh my, what a game this has been.
Lots of defense.
That's what we expected at the start. You promote a game and what you think might happen with these two teams known for their great defense. And it's been at times wide open stuff.
Excellent snap. Perfect hold by Hansen, the punter.
Quite a game for CiB. Some doubt planted after 2 misses last week, but he's hit 3 from outside 40 yards to the dismay of Joe Gibbs. We'll remind you that those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, it will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where, of course, it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. It's a terrific 60 Minutes, and the lineup tonight on CBS outstanding. So stay with us right after our action concludes. Here from technically not Washington, D.C., but we're playing in Maryland, Landover. Washington Redskins, and Leftwich as a kid told us that he used to sneak his way. He had a system to get in when he was 12, 13 years at RFK. Once he got up to the ticket taker at the turnstile, he'd wait for a lot of people to be and then run through. And of course, the ticket taker couldn't leave his post to catch him. And then he'd get a choice spot and watch his favorites, Doug Williams, Joe Theismann and company. Low skidding kick goes to Sellers, and Sellers will be tackled at the 35-yard line with 1 second left in regulation. Mark Brunell knows he's going to be able to log some overtime pay on this 4th Sunday of the season.
Well, without a doubt, the most important play of this game is about to happen after this next one. And that's going to be when they flip the coin. Because the way these offenses are running, the way they're both on a roll, whoever wins this toss has got about an 80% chance, in my opinion, of winning this game.
Well, there's many that feel it's somewhat unfair. You get the coin toss, and if you score right away, you don't even give the opposition a chance. Of course, collegiate football has rectified that.
You know, sometimes in life, Dick, things aren't fair.
I've noticed that.
You can't make everything even.
Brunell throws a little screen to Clinton Portis, and Portis running in midfield, still on his feet, 45-50, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line, but time has well expired, and we will indeed visit overtime. Portis showing you he's a man of power and speed, maneuverability. Looking at the overtime rules, they'll play a 1-15-minute period. Any score ends the game. 2 timeouts added for each team. Coin toss, of course, for possession, just as the start of the game. No coaches' challenges. The booth will review all disputed plays, and you score, you win. First overtime action for this crew this year, and it'll fall on Byron Leftwich and Mark Brunell. Brunell, a former Jaguar, 9 years, now playing in Washington, still makes his home down on the old coast in Jacksonville. And Leftwich, a Washington native, high school star here, he comes back home.
We're going to play a sudden death overtime of 15 minutes. The first team that scores wins. Each team will have 2 timeouts.
Wait a minute, that's my job.
The timing rules in the 4th quarter will apply, and all replay challenges will be done by the booth. The coin, heads, tails, heads, tails. What is your call, Jacksonville? Tails is the call. Tails is the call.
Nick Sorensen,
it is a head.
Captain for Jacksonville. Washington wins the toss. Joe Gibbs' offense will get the first chance to score. We welcome those of you who have enjoyed NFL action elsewhere on CBS. Dick Enberg, Randy Cross, welcome to FedEx Field. We're in overtime, tied at 30. 2:17, but Jacksonville able to rally. The Redskins get the ball first. Rock Cartwright, who had a big kickoff return late in the 4th quarter to set up the go-ahead field goal for Washington, is deep at the 2-yard line as Josh Scobie delivers that right foot and hits it big. Deep into the end zone, going to take it out from 2 yards deep. And he's met rudely at the 19-yard line, led by Nick Sorensen, the defensive special teams captain. Well, that's lifetime. I don't know how pertinent the overtime record all-time is, but both have winning records. Shorter history for Jack Del Rio's Jaguars. They give forward progress to the 20-yard line, and Joe Gibbs' team
And here every play so critical, the call and the execution, as Brunell wants to get Washington at least into field goal range in the win.
And for Mark Brunell and the Washington Redskins, it's been about two things. It's been about a powerful running game with that offensive line dominating, and it's yards after the catch for the receivers.
They'll start by giving it to Portis. He's been the star. He's got more yards, 30. And out of bounds at the 35. 15 more for Portis. He has 110 yards today against a defense that had allowed only 59 per game on the ground.
They just seal off this side. Wonderful job by Mike Sellers on Donovan Darius. The lead fullback takes care of the safety, the force man of the Jacksonville defense, and just a little taste of what this Washington running game has done all night long. It's been a matter of them trying the running game, being persistent, and boy, has it paid off in this last quarter or so.
150 yards rushing for the Redskins against a team that's been very stingy throughout the year. Portis, the lead man, cuts back and falls forward for a couple to the 37-yard line. Rob Meyer, playing on the defensive end, moved out from tackle with the injury in the preseason to Reggie Hayward, placed on the IR.
And that's the part of this running game that Clinton Portis has brought here to Washington that's been so exciting for the fans. It's so exciting for the staff and also for the team. He can get his 2s and 3s and 4s and 10s, but he can also get 50s and 60s.
Liddell Betts, 5'10", 223, comes in at tailback, replacing Portis. They don't lose much with him carrying the ball. Fake to him, Brunell eludes the rush. Wants to go deep downfield, now throws to Cooley, who does the tap dance and completes the pass at the 44-yard line. Chris Cooley.
Dick, remember that reviews are upstairs. The coaches are out of the equation, so you have to watch this and watch the feet.
Yeah, he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds before coming back inbounds to make the catch. It was a good catch.
If you're forced out of bounds, if you establish yourself back into the field to play, you can catch the ball.
The flag has been thrown, so Jeff Triplett, our referee, will explain.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. Number 47 of the offense went out of bounds, came back in as the first to touch. The 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
There's Darius and there is Cooley. Left foot out of bounds. He cannot be the first one to touch it coming back.
Had a defender come in, deflected it, then he could have caught it. Did a great job after the fact, but the play was literally dead as soon as that foot stepped out of bounds. So they mark it back at the 32-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 13. See how important that play becomes. Liddell Betts stays in at tailback. Brunell.
What a catch on the sideline. Santana Moss. He's on his way to Washington's victory. His 3rd touchdown of the game, Santana Moss. Oh my! 68-yard winner. A walk-off touchdown by Santana Moss. 68 yards on that one, adding to his earlier scores as this former Miami star has performed dramatically in overtime to give Washington the win and a 2-2 start of the season. 4 catches, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns for Moss.
We've talked all day about Byron Leftwich fitting the ball into tight spots. Mark Brunell guns it into a tight spot, and Santana Moss rewards him with another gigantic play for the Washington Redskins.
Mark Brunell playing with 3 stitches in that throwing elbow, celebrating along with this crowd and this team. Did he go out of bounds in the far sidelines? I guess that's why there is a slight delay here. They're checking upstairs to confirm that he stayed in bounds, did Santana Moss, on that catch. This to be definitive and make sure there wasn't an error. There's the catch. Of course, we didn't see the first part of his form. He doesn't come close to the sidelines after the catch.
Fit in perfectly right over the top of Brian Williams.
Now let's see here.
Does he go out of bounds is what they're checking for. It does not appear he ever gets out of bounds. He's in bounds the entire time.
No doubt. So the final score will be Washington 36, Jacksonville 30. In an overtime thriller here at FedEx Field, just outside the nation's capital. And to make it official, here's Jeff Triplett. And this big crowd is going to enjoy the announcement.
After reviewing the player did not touch out of bounds. It is a touchdown. The game is over.
Brunell, Moss, touchdown, victory to the Washington Redskins, 36-30. Tonight on CBS at 60 Minutes, The Amazing Race, cold case and without a trace. For Randy Cross, Dick Enberg, so long from our nation's capital. An overtime thriller, the victory to the Redskins. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41.
NASN, the North American Sport.